segment that we're going into is really just a continuation of day of sale and training for us and getting better at it. Continue to be a student. I don't need to introduce the man who's going to kind of run us through this next segment, but I think it's important along the way to remember that we've been all given a gift, and it's all come from one man's idea, crazy mattress fundraiser. And the fact is that gift has been a gift of an opportunity that each and every one of us sitting here today has available to us. And that's the opportunity to not go to work every day, right? To have some fun in what we do and work with groups that we love. It's not to be in a commute and have to drive in a commute every day. It's to not have to check in and have a boss that we're responding to every day. It's the opportunity to provide for our families, the opportunity to take care of our families the way we want to be able to buy a house, to be able to start a family, to be able to buy a second home, to be able to accumulate wealth along the way. And there's one guy here who has done that for each and every one of us today. And it is up to us to continue to be a student, to learn, and to take advantage of the tools that have been provided to us through that opportunity. And I'm going to bring up Joe Mateka to take over this next section.
So my job is to just kind of MC this part of it, and I really wanted to MC it most importantly because, Andrew Owings and what he said is really what this thing is about. We work, Monday through Friday, sometimes Sunday through Friday, working through our sponsors, working through our parents, ordering product, ordering signs, ordering banners, doing all this administrative stuff, trying to get as many people as we can to our events, driving traffic to the events. It's the core of our business. But I know that when we get there, and we hear a lot from the field, a lot of feedback from the field that people are coming and walking out of our events. And I mean, if you think about that, it just grabs me and drives me absolutely insane. I mean, you think about the motivation behind someone to wake up, have breakfast or lunch, take a shower, get dressed, grab their spouse, drive over to the local high school, come in, and, think about that person. Man, they're not there just to see what the hell is going on. They're there because they need a bed, man. I mean, the gun is loaded. Think about what Michael Davio just said. He goes, and I will tell you, to a person in our industry, anybody who has come to our events and seen it for the first time, and then, I may go to the Vegas market and meet someone, and they'll be like, I stopped by one of your events in, I don't know, really, pick a town. And they're like, do you really realize what a ridiculous advantage you have over every other person out there selling mattresses? And I know the mat firm people know that. You guys, that's a battle. That's a real battle. What we have and the opportunity we have is quite frankly, we're asking you just to make layups. Yeah. We're not looking for a three-point shot, guys. And so, when it comes to your day of event staff, Andrew's right, man. It's the circus coming to town, and they come once a year. And those people, the sponsors who bought into you, they deserve your best. I mean, you owe it to them, and you owe it to those kids to do the best you can possibly do, you and your team. And that involves taking yourself and putting yourself out of your comfort zone and really leading your team. okay? And keeping your staff and your people on point, on their toes, nobody walks. If they come and they go without buying a bed, you screwed up. And I think so many of us take it for granted. Some of these folks talk about, 3 out of 10 people leaving. Half the people come, half the people, what? Like that's, so this class, this conference is an opportunity for you to replumb your business. This is the course, we're going this direction. Over time, you start getting off plumb and you start heading out that way when you want to go that way. So what I want all of you to do is to look internally at your day of event staff. First off, do you have the right people? Or do you just have warm bodies? I want you to think about that. And it's easy to get a relative because, well, they love you and that's my mom and, she helps me out. But are they, is it the right staff? Are you giving that school everything that they're giving you? Because they're buying you. They're trusting you to do it. You have an obligation to them, an obligation to maximize for them. So your staff being lazy and your staff telling you what to do in your business, that can't happen. You've got to be a leader. One of the things with this business, for me, I've had to learn is I have to make some, decisions that I don't want to make, and some tough things, and maybe I tell some people some things that they don't want to hear. But at the end of the day, you got to be honest with yourself, you got to be honest with your people, and you got to set the course and set the direction. And it is a business. We're a family, but it's a business. And your business is doing the best you possibly can for your groups. Okay, so that being said, what I wanted to do was we wanted to set up this next kind of breakout so that you can kind of replumb, okay, and get best practices from the best in the business. So we're going to lead off with Andrew, and he's the ringleader of the circus right now, okay, and controlling the process and controlling what people are doing, that's your job. If your staff is, and I'll tell you one thing, you need to start looking about getting rid of those cell phones that your staff has, and they're walking around in their cell phones and people are walking out the door while they're checking on their timeline on Facebook. That's garbage. So a no cell phone policy, if you don't have one, you better get one.
Take the material.
All right, so why don't I, without any further ado, so, obviously for the last couple of years I haven't been running events every week, as y'all know. I do pop in across the country depending on what my schedule allows. But without any further ado, we're going to lead off with Andrew, who, hey look, the view doesn't change when you're number one. We were watching a horse race a couple nights ago at one of the restaurants, and the lead horse was out there beautiful, but it was a muddy track. Every other horse had mud all over him. The lead horse didn't have any mud on him. It was beautiful. So with that, he's not beautiful, but we'll bring him up anyways. Andrew.
Yeah, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to walk around with it. All right, let me get my presentation here. So, the greeting. Who here thinks that is important, that matters? Oh, good. Well, then I'm done. Unfortunately, it's something that is really easy to overlook, and it's really easy to let your staff slip on. Perfect. All right, so it's not just about the greeting, but it's about controlling the process. I like to think that we're probably one of the better locations at handling this because my salespeople know. I mean, we literally, every sale, we review the greeting. And I make one of them get up and do it. And guess how often one of them screws it up? Almost every time. I've got a couple of aces that I don't need to train them on it, but the other people still need to hear it. And so if you think that they're getting good at it and then you just kind of stop, worrying about it, then you messed up. Because it's like Michael said, we don't close people with a greeting, but we can lose them as soon as they walk in the door. And there's so many ways to do it wrong. The first way, Joe, I'm glad you brought this up. I'm walking into a showroom. I'm a customer. Clint, why don't you just walk towards me? All right. Now here's what they see. Oh, who just became my second priority? Customer. If you guys have people on their cell phones on your sales floor, first, you need to make a no cell phone rule. Period. End of story. If I came to one of your events and I saw somebody on their cell phone, even you, I would say you need to fire that person. Their priorities are not in line. We have 7 hours. How many hours of work go into this event on our end? How much money, how much blood, sweat, and tears went into this event where people are walking through the door and you have some asshole on their cell phone, doop-a-doop-a-doop, Facebook, derp, and oh, there's a customer, guess I'll stop doing what I want to be doing. What does that say to them? I guess I'll deal with you because you walked in. Yeah, right. So first and foremost, you've got to get your people off their cell phones. All right. Most important part of our retail process is the greeting, and I think that we all know that because 98% of the people who walk into one of our sales have not ever seen this before. Unless it's, you're in your 4th or 5th year at a school and okay, these are band parents who bought from you a couple years ago. Well, that was still 2 years ago. They don't remember how it works. All right? So, approach with a smile and outstretched hand. And you know what I even do? I'm just like, hey, welcome in. That was 2 things. I'm excited to see them, but also, you can either do the kind of excited greeting or you can do the outstretched hand either way. They both have different reasons. I like to do this because I'm not that big a guy. I create a little bit more space doing this. And you laugh, that's psychological. What's the percentage of Fortune 500 CEOs that are over 6 foot tall? It's way above the number of people who are above 6 feet tall. So I try to put a big presence on them. Also, that's me kind of blocking them from going around me. So I do that, not every time. I actually use it mostly when I see bigger guys coming through the room, to be honest. I mean, really, I'm trying to gain their respect, okay? But a lot of the time I'll also just, outstretched hand. Hi, my name is Andrew, welcome to our fundraiser. And one of the first things I'll ask about is, I'll say, I'm going to be your tour guide today. By the way, at first, when Michael first started saying, I was like, that's the cheesiest thing I've ever heard. Get over it. It works. I make a joke about something if I can. If we're really busy, obviously we get through this a little bit quicker. But the big things to hit on are getting them comfortable with the situation. Now, I want to get them laying on a bed in 2 minutes because, as you guys probably see from the numbers, we have a pretty decent average, which means we have a lot of people coming in. We've got to get to everybody, and the greeting's the most important. So as much as I'd love to spend 10 minutes getting to know somebody before I put them on a bed, we just can't. So I'm trying to get them on a bed in a couple of minutes, all right? And because if you're not getting them on a bed in a couple of minutes, then they're not doing what they came there to do. They're there to shop for a mattress, like Joe said. They didn't go to all the trouble to come across town or come around the corner or wherever just because bored. People don't go mattress shopping when they're bored. It's not a pleasant experience. Or at least, with us it is. But the biggest things you got to explain is you got to go through our process. And I wrote these up. I'm really bad about paraphrasing, so I'm just going to read these through. But we're a national fundraising company, and here's a little bit about us. We've raised over $30 million for schools across the United States. Here in Kansas City, just this year alone, we've given back almost $200,000 to the programs we've worked with. And now, if you've never shopped with us before, or actually, I'll usually ask the question, have you guys haven't ever shopped with us before? Because we're in several years now. No, we haven't. All right, cool. So you've probably never seen anything like this before, right? Okay, no, you haven't? Yeah, and a lot of oh, wow, that's so cool. We're working here with the band. We're helping them raise money for their trip to Hawaii. It's not just we're working with so-and-so to help raise money for their program. Remember when we have the parent meeting, we always say we want something tangible. You know, in this case, let's just call it a trip because that's easy. A lot of bands do trips. But your people need to know if it's not a trip, what are we raising money for? They need to get a trailer. The band's raising money, we're helping the band raise money to buy a new trailer, or to get their trailer wrapped, or to get a new drumline battery. So that's why we're here today. All the beds you see in here are floor models. Okay? So I don't want you guys walking around thinking that you got to take that bed home and that size or anything like that. All of our products are brand new. They're manufactured to order. And everything's going to come with a non-prorated factory warranty. And that's important. And I know that that non-prorated thing doesn't sound that good, but it is. Non-prorated means, for example, ma'am, if you're looking at a 10-year bed right over here, if something goes wrong with that bed 5 years down the line, 8 years down the line, we're going to get you a full replacement. Now that's a lot different than shopping for mattresses other places. We understand it's a little unusual to buy a bed here in a high school gym. That's why we work with companies that give us good warranties. Oh, wow, okay. And it takes us generally about 10 days to receive the products. If you elect for pickup, you can pick it up from us as soon as we have it. And if you're doing delivery, we have 2 scheduled delivery dates that are roughly 2 weeks from today. Okay? So now hopefully they've at least understood how they're going to get it. And then all of our products are going to be priced with a box spring. If you don't need one or you don't want one, that's fine. We can always back that out of the price. Just let us know, and that'll depend on the size of the bed you're looking at. And then we'll explain how the room's laid out. Just so you know, real quick, the left side of the room, we're going to have some firmer stuff. The right side of the room, we're going to have some softer stuff. And then all of the beds in these 2 rows are compatible with our adjustable bases. We got a little picture of one right here, so if that's something you guys are interested in, we can get into that later. And then, these questions are important. Again, I'm assuming the close. Who's getting a new bed today? I don't like the who are we shopping for. Right? Who are we shopping for? Oh, we're shopping. Men hate that word. Who's getting a new bed today? So that's one of the first things that we ask. What brought you in today? How can we help you sleep better? Those are all super open-ended questions. It's kind of hard to respond to any of those with, oh, we're just looking. Okay. And then I've implemented this thing with Michael, the let's do this. So that's a, what's the process called?
Subliminal command.
Yeah, subliminal command, right. So let's do this, it's a suggestion, followed by a subliminal command. Follow me over here, I'm going to get you a couple of pillows. How do you guys sleep? Side, back, or stomach? In my showroom, I do it a little bit differently. We don't put pillows out on the bed. We actually have our pillows up at the front of the room. And don't feel like you need to do this. Everybody does it a little different, but what we do, how do you sleep? Side, back, or stomach? Oh, you sleep on your side? Oh, sweet. Check out these shoulder cut pillows. You're going to love this thing. Carry this around with you. That way you have the same pillow on every bed you try. All the things, or the only thing you're noticing in each mattress is the difference in the mattress when you have the same pillow. All right. They have to lay on beds. The job, in my mind, besides educating the customer on how this works, is ultimately getting that customer, whoever it is, mom and dad or a kid, on a mattress. How many people do this? Love that, don't you? So one of my favorite responses to that one, and this isn't even really in here, I just had to plug it. One of my favorite responses is when you see somebody doing that, you just go over and you just be like, well, no wonder you're here shopping for a mattress. Your back must hurt really bad if that's how you sleep. And they kind of laugh at you. But you know what? But it loosens up the conversation, okay? And that's, I use that all the time. But anyway, what we try to do first, like Michael was saying, we do a firmness versus softness test. And we use the Wellsville 14-inch hybrids. The gel is the soft, the latex is the firm. Classic top-down selling. Some people I know are using the Sutherland Berg beds, like the Blackberg and the Heidelberg, as their testers. You get them on something nice. Guys, it's top-down. If you're not doing it, I don't know what you've been doing with the training. You have to start people on nice stuff. And you know, and obviously there's exceptions to that. They come in, oh, we just want a cheap mattress. All right, here we go. There's ways to handle that. All right. Oh yeah, and part of that is, part of the non-threatening way that we do the firmness test is we get them to come over and I say, listen, it doesn't matter to me if you love or hate these. All I need is a preference. So please, just lay down here real quick. We've got foot protectors on all these beds, so make yourself comfortable. Okay, so then what happens? They come over, oh, that's too soft. Don't you love that? Response to that. That makes sense because it's not a chair. All of your weight is in one spot. It's not designed for that. It's designed to be laid on. Get on it. I've literally actually, when people have just been real difficult about it, they're kind of, I actually lifted somebody's feet up for them. Wow. All right. Find the hurt. We already asked how they sleep, side, back, or stomach, so this is another good one. This is where you're showing them that you're listening. We just gave them a shoulder cut pillow because they said they sleep on their side. How many people do this? I'm on my back for those of you who can't see. Well, is that how you sleep at home? No, I sleep on my side. Well, come on, roll over. Oh, that feels better. Right? Yep. But how often do we see this stuff? Every day. This is part of the greeting process. You've got to get them comfortable doing what we need them to do in our showroom. 10 minutes? Oh, great. All right. Let's see. And Chris Balk's 100% right. Start asking questions about the bed that they have or why they're here. Find the hurt. Our bed's has big dips like this. You know what I show every single person who says that to me? A Wellsville product. If it's more than 3/4 of an inch of a body impression, we get it replaced for you. By the way, I've never had a warranty problem. I've been selling their products for 3 years. Oh, did I show you the price of ours compared to Amazon? Anyway, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're doing, what do you call it, greetings. But having any particular issues sleeping. This is one of my favorite ones because what you're going to uncover, maybe snoring, or got lower back pain. Those are a couple of my favorites. It's adjustable base time. Lower back pain, you get them on adjustable base, raise their feet up about 2 to 3 inches, and they just fell in love with you. It doesn't even matter what mattress they're on. Okay? Also, snoring, you say, have you guys seen those Sleep Number commercials where they raise it up and the guy stops snoring? Let me show you over here. Let me get into the adjustable base. All right. Kids room, guest room. Yeah, I know, it's not exciting. But we sell a lot of beds to these people. Kids, okay, well, what do you think? Do you like a really hard bed or a soft bed? Engage with that kid. What do people love more than themselves? Their children. Fall in love with these kids. Interact with them. Be fun. I had a little girl, she kind of started like getting up and bouncing around. I just picked her up and put her on the next one. She was having a great time. Mom and Dad were like, oh, cool, he's like handling my kid. I'll just like wander over here and look at adjustable bases, hopefully. But engage with your customers. If I'm just like, oh, okay, well, just start on this row, just go down the row and try them out. I might as well have just said, I don't really care if I sell you a bed, right? And Mike was right. What do you like about this one? What do you not like about that one? But you got to get them on that first bed. If the kid says, oh, I don't know, I always start them on the soft side. Kids love soft beds. And then you ask some other qualifying questions too, which I think Michael's going to get into. But some of the stuff I'll ask their parents and say, is this like a 2-year bed, a 5-year bed, a 10-year bed? That'll kind of help you understand what price range is shown too. If they say, oh, we just wanted a couple of years, it's going to go in a bunk bed till he grows up. Okay, you probably shouldn't start with a Wellsville hybrid with that kid, right? You don't want to turn people off. So, feel it out. But again, this is all kind of part of the greeting. How the kid sleeps. If the kid says, I sleep on my tummy, show him a firm bed. You're doing your customer a disservice if you start them in soft stuff and they tell you that. And then, of course, this is a little bit less relevant with kids, but are there any issues with you sleeping now? Well, his bed's too hard. Okay, soft beds, all right? We're just looking. Yay, everybody loves to hear that. All right, and I use every single one of these. Cheesy, corny, I don't care, but it works. Perfect. What are you looking for? You're here, okay? Let's see. I understand everyone starts that way. I got that one from Davio. And then I use this one all the time. The last one is the one I use the most. We're just looking, hey, and I'll even kind of, I hate to spoil the surprise. They all look like white rectangles. And they'll loosen up, they'll laugh a little. So you did a little bit, it loosens it up. I mean, if you can't at least get a little bit, you can't get somewhere with any of those responses, I don't know, they're just gonna be a tough one anyway. All right, we're just gonna walk around a little. Like in that wine glass commercial, like you wanna walk on the mattresses to make sure the wine glass doesn't tip over? We usually just have people lay on it. Okay, that's another one. I understand, but are you looking for something firmer or softer? We've all been there. You got some people who are just gonna stiff arm you to the very end because they're just not gonna let you control them or any of that. Listen, a lot of this stuff works with most people, some of it doesn't. And to be honest, I just, I don't have all the answers and I don't really think anybody does. But if you're to the point where these people just literally will not give you the time of day, hey guys, if you're looking for a firmer bed, come on over here, try this one, work your way down the road. And then that's when I go and I go find somebody else to go engage with them. They've shut me out, they've shut me down. I try to at least get them on one bed. I let them basically get off that bed, and then I send, usually, by the way, this is important, I will send somebody of the opposite sex. Some people don't want to buy stuff from men. Some people don't want to buy stuff from women. Some people don't want to buy stuff from, some of you young guys in here in your 20s, the guys who are 50 or 60s, they may or may not respect you. Don't take it personally. Send somebody else to go talk to them. Somebody who's a lot different than you. But again,
Andrew, I got a question.
Yeah.
When you send someone over, what is that process when that next person goes and starts talking to them?
Hey guys, my name's so-and-so. You're basically starting over. You don't really go through the whole thing, but you go through the greeting, say, hey, just have you been looking at some of these beds? Which one did you like so far?
Quickly summarize where you brought them to. If you're turning over, or they're turning over.
Yeah.
Quickly summarize what you've learned, okay? And then just kind of fade away, so that they know where it's at. You don't need to make a big deal of it, okay? They call them turnovers. We don't teach that, but I know that for people like everyone knows, okay? Sometimes you don't gel with people. Like I had a lady who worked on my staff for 10 years, who whenever there was a guy who was 55 plus, Joanne, our greeter, would end up selling the bed. Joanne, this one's on you. And we laugh about it, but sometimes you just don't get it off with people, and that's okay. Not everybody's you're not gonna gel with everybody, and you need to be humble enough. Sometimes you need to turn over, or you need to take over, okay? If you're someone's looking at a model, you have to be talking to them, and someone's in one of these middle beds, and you've got your weakest person on it, that's a huge mistake, man. You are letting money walk. So you just turn it over, you just kind of fade in the background and let it take over. It's not a big thing.
All right. One more thing I want to cover, it's not in the slides. You gotta get them at the right spot in the showroom. They wander too far in, you've kind of lost it because they're looking at all this stuff. If you hit them as soon as they walk in the door, it's like, Jesus, man, let me get like my other foot in, right? So let them take a few steps in, approach them, and actually, psychologically speaking, let's say this projector is the customer walking in, you don't necessarily always want to come straight on. That's confrontational. The best angle is to actually approach from like, I don't know, a northeast or a northwest or whatever. So you don't necessarily want to come at them front on, that's confrontational. You definitely, and Bert says this all the time, if you're chasing them down, you lost. You're their puppy dog now. And also, guys, who likes to be walked up on from behind? Nobody. So that's important too. So, I mean, my salespeople, if they miss a greeting, oh, whew, Yeah, it drives me nuts. All right, so I think I got a couple more minutes. Does anybody have any questions? Two questions. I can take 2 questions. I don't see any questions. All right, then I'm done. All right, thank you.